Welcome back to our section on managing PAT through Intune. In this subsection, we'll be looking at configuring Intune for deploying the package. Let's get started.
So now you'll see in my packages folder, I've got the setup Microsoft Power Automate Desktop.intune win. This is the file that I will actually upload to Intune in order to create the app. So to do that, you're going to go to your endpoint.microsoft.com main screen. You're going to go to apps here on the left-hand side. You can either click on all apps or Windows. It takes you to the same spot. You're going to click add. And then you're going to choose a Windows app, Win32. Now I select the app package file that I just created. And I'm going to rename this to Power Automate Desktop and the version that I'm running. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this. I'm going to go ahead and also edit the description, just so that way it doesn't say that same thing. And then it's going to always ask you for the publisher. The rest of this is just optional information. If you want to put it, you can. You don't have to. Okay, so here I'm going to put the same install command here that I did as my test. And then for the uninstall command, if you wanted to test that as well, it's also available in the docs.microsoft here for the Power Automate as well. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this one. We're going to install as system. And we're just going to go ahead and click next. Requirements, we're going to go ahead and say 64-bit because this is a 64-bit installer. For the minimum operating system, we're going to say Windows 10 1709. And we're going to just put a minimum disk space required where it won't try to install Power Automate Desktop if they don't have at least 300 megabytes of free space. And we'll go ahead and click next. And here comes the detection rules. So the rules format that we're going to choose is manually configured detection rules. And then we're going to add a registry detection. Now, if we were just deploying Power Automate Desktop once, and let's say it kept itself up to date because it had an auto update feature built in, I could just choose MSI here. I could take the MSI product code that I found out of the registry. I could put it in there and we would be done. This would check just to make sure that this MSI product code shows up properly, and it would be able to detect the application if it installs properly. The reason that we're doing a registry-based detection is because we need to detect based on version. Since we want to actually manually control versions on devices, we need to take it one step further and not only detect the MSI product code, but also what version it's running. So I'm going to grab the key path here. I'm going to look at the display version key, which you'll see here, or display version. So you can copy this if you wanted to. And I'm going to be looking for 2.11.0051.21196. That way, if this shows up as a different version, we know that we want to update Power Automate to this specific version. And then we're going to say string comparison equals, and then the value of what the display version is. In this case, 2.11.051. Now we have a detection rule that will be able to determine a specific version of Power Automate Desktop. And if it differs, it will try to automatically install this version on the computer. So we'll go ahead and click next. There are no dependencies that need to be installed for Power Automate Desktop, so you don't need any. So just go ahead and click next here. I go into this later as part of the ring deployment, but let's say the workstation you're deploying on already has a previous version of Power Automate Desktop installed. So you'll see that the workstation I'm on is actually running 2.873.21119. And if I check Intune, because this is how I deployed it to begin with, you'll notice that I used Intune to deploy Power Automate to this workstation that I'm currently running on. So I've got the Microsoft Power Automate Desktop 2.873.21119. What I can do is I can supersede the old application, and this is how you're going to update to a new version. So rather than updating all the workstations at once, I can just supersede it for specific users as I go through, and then once everybody has the newest version, I can remove the old version out of Intune. So I'm going to go ahead and supersede version 2.8, and that means if I deploy both 2.8 and 2.11 to two machines, this one will take preference over the old version.
It's like a force upgrade.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah. So some applications actually require you to uninstall the previous version before you are able to update them. But Power Automate, from all of my testing, and this is subject to change, you can just install right over the top and it won't hurt anything at all. Later, that could change, and maybe you need to change this to a yes. But for right now, as of the making of this video, this is acceptable. Now we have a couple of options here. We've got required, we've got available, and we've got uninstall. Required means that Intune will automatically attempt to install the app as soon as your installation deadline is met. Available means that you can use basically the company portal app to self-service install applications. So what you could do is you could make it available, and here under the recently published apps, you can make it available where somebody could then click on it and then on demand click install, and it will enroll all the same ways that it would with required, except it doesn't automatically install it and automatically update it if it's removed from the client. So this is a nice way if you're doing a self-service type deployment, but in most cases you're going to want to just stick with required. And then uninstall, very self-explanatory. This will actually remove this. If it's detected, it will run the uninstall string that we supplied during the creation process on that device and attempt to remove the piece of software from that machine. So I'm just going to do required for now. And I'm going to go ahead and then set this up to one of the groups that I created earlier. And I'm going to just send it to my install Power Automate Canaries. Once I'm certain that the upgrade works perfectly on install Power Automate Canaries, I'll then come back in here. I'll add Power Automate Pilot. We'll test on those users, make sure that they're done. Finally, once that testing has been completed, I'll add install Power Automate all users. Let that completely install on all the users, and then once everyone has been updated, we can go through and we can remove the old version of the app out of Intune just to keep things clean. But this is going to be the standard way that you create updates for Power Automate using Intune, and it's very similar in SCCM as well. So I'm going to go ahead and show toast notifications. Toast notifications are little notifications that pop up here on the bottom right hand of your screen, letting you know that Intune is going to be making some changes to your PC. I like to show them when I'm doing this for Canaries, just so that way I can see, yes, it's working. But by the time you're doing this for all users, you're probably going to want to change this so that way it is hide all toast notifications, and it'll just install completely silently on their computer. I'm also going to set the installation deadline as soon as possible, and go ahead and click Next. At this point, it will actually upload the Intune WIN file that we created to Intune or Endpoint Manager, and it will give you a progress bar in the notifications We can see that it's about 12% complete. Okay, so you can see it is just finished uploading.
Thank you for watching this video. In the next subsection, we'll be looking at how to deploy Power Automate Desktop and manage the lifecycle through the ring deployment methodology.